Let me ask the Minister the first question, as is often the tradition. Right. Not that you have all the answers to all the questions, but give us your opinion. Do you truly believe that we are at a point of inflection, or is it true what some people say, that this is a fluke, it's a one-off?
I think if it's a fluke, we wouldn't have achieved the kind of achievements that we did in the SEA Games. I think change has been happening for some time. The systems, processes have been put in place. We have seen, I think, in the various games, athletes been peaking and performing well. But I think collectively we see it coming together at the SEA Games. I think you also got to look at the context. It is our SG 50 years. We are hosting it as a home ground support, which cuts both ways as well. It can be also quite overwhelming pressure for some athletes. But I think you see this coming together in a very big and a very significant ways. But I think the changes have been put in place in the last few years. I think have begun. I think in many ways we begin to see the fruition of some of those efforts. And I think this process will continue.
Thanks, Ben.
I think that point of inflection that you mentioned is very distinct. It's very clear. If you look at the medal tally, yes, at every home games or every games that we host, there is a peak, but this is a huge peak.
Huge.
And it's across a lot of sports.
And the number of countries participating is also much larger.
Exactly.
11.
And the real question is, how did we achieve this point of inflection? Like the Minister mentioned, it's multifactorial. Our preparations this time around has been very comprehensive, with the final push program, with the other support systems all coming into play, with our athletes putting in that extra effort, knowing that it is a home games. All that has come together to produce this. I mean, I've been tracking the athletes' preparation, because to me, preparation is always important, the most important. Without the preparation, you can't get anywhere. And at this level, whoever trains more wins.
Yep.
Okay? And our athletes did put in the time. I've seen people who went full time for the SEA Games much earlier than they would have in other events.
All right. Thank you. Teck Yin?
Well, I agree with what has been said about different factors having to come together to make it all work. And I think credit must go to the National Sports Associations for recognizing that, and for recognizing the special opportunity to be part of the 36 sports that were competed. I think we know that there were other sports that wanted to get in, and I think all of our national sports associations recognize that indeed it was a privilege that they were one of the 36 that got involved, and I think credit to them that they saw this as a very special privilege. So different things come together. It took a whole nation to do this.
To what extent did the final push act as a catalyst?
I think the final push program extended a level of support that we had not previously extended. And it accounted for the size of Singapore's contingent at the end of the day that came for the Games. If you look at the total number of athletes that were supported for the final push, the total number were more than medal winners. So there were non-medal winners in the final push program as well. But the message out there was that everybody who we are supporting, we know has a medal potential, and they should make every effort to do their best. And they recognize that. I think the athletes must believe, the NSAs must believe, but I would credit a large part also to the nation who got behind them, because there were many, what I would call really inspired performances.
Right.